Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for joining us on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Super, how are you?
Doing good, doing good. Take a listen to this. A bride in India asked for volunteers from the audience after her groom got cold feet and deserted her at the last minute. So a man stepped up, her parents approved, and they were married anyway.
This is old. We've talked about this before.
No, I've never talked about this.
Yes, we have.
No,
it's been
I remember
a long time ago.
I remember a comedian talking about how that's why the men all wear the same outfit. So if they decide to move on, he says, "Do you take this bride?"
We have talked about this.
I have not.
Okay.
No way. I would have remembered this for sure because I think that's a little unusual. Well, he decided not to marry me. Anybody else want to marry me? Going once, going twice.
Wow.
Sold to the gentleman in the third row. Come on up here and let's get hitched. That's not quite how it works. But, hey, coming up, we're going to be chatting about Syracuse, New York, and something that they're working on mobile phones there, an interesting thing that happened. It's all on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVWheelator.com.
If you're selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. So what do you have to lose? And if you're buying an RV, you got to find the great deals at RVWheelator.com.
Now back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Thank you so much for tuning in on a Thursday. I cannot believe the week is almost done. This is just cruising by. Syracuse, New York native Billy Foodie never owned a mobile phone, so imagine the surprise when he got a bill for $6,500 for his mobile phone.
Ah.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. 63-year-old Foodie says, I've never even used a normal phone, let alone a mobile phone. He was shocked when he opened the mail, and there it was. He immediately called Cellular One to complain and is waiting to hear from the firm's fraud department. He said he's a little worried the mistake might affect his credit rating. So somebody else apparently opened a phone
too bad.
under his account.
That's a big bill.
$6,500. They apparently made a lot of calls.
Wow.
So there you go. That was in Syracuse, New York. That is kind of a fun name to say, isn't it? Syracuse?
Sure.
Do I say it right, do you think?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Syracuse.
That's how I've heard it. I've heard it several ways. So, but Mr. Foodie, I hope everything gets worked out for you there. Coming up in a moment, we're going to talk about having a blast at your wedding, and this is a real blast. It's an interesting story on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
You've heard about, having a blast, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we had a blast. Well, if you don't know, Turkish weddings are often kind of rowdy gatherings in which air rifles and other guns are fired to celebrate the event.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's okay, I guess, unless, of course, you shoot the bride. And that's what happened.
Oh, no.
Yeah. They shot the bride. The 22-year-old Anhu Tanglor, during her pre-wedding celebration, one of her relatives accidentally shot 8 air rifle pellets into her stomach. I could see one. Maybe even
how do you
accidentally
shoot 8?
She was taken to the hospital, but doctors agreed to postpone surgery to remove the pellets after her fiancé's father refused to set another date for the wedding, saying people travel a long way for the ceremony. Gee, Dad, thanks. You're getting married with those pellets in your belly. So they carted her back to the wedding where she said, I do, and even danced with her hubby despite her bullets in her belly. That is kind of crazy. These are stories, this little segment is called I Heard It on the Radio, because I always find the most bizarre stories that are on the Internet. And, if it's on the Internet, it's true. I don't verify these stories. I just find them and read them. I wonder if that really happened. Can you imagine your new father-in-law? I've been shot in the stomach 8 times. Well, we're getting married, otherwise the wedding's off. You can't have surgery yet. Isn't that just nuts?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That doesn't sound like a very good idea to me, but I guess that happened.
It's the father of the bride that pays for the wedding.
So
that was the father-in-law that said, I'm not paying for it?
No, it was the father-in-law of the bride was the one that was saying that all these people came a long way. You're getting married. I don't know how it works. I think here, whoever pays for it is whoever wants to pay for it. It's not like it has to be the father of the bride.
It's tradition. It's the
tradition.
Father of the bride.
Sometimes neighbor of the bride pays for the wedding. Whoever. Anyway, let's get the dough. All right, coming up, we have Your Brain on Drugs. That is on the way on the John and Heidi Show for a Thursday.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is Your Brain on Drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again?
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. A woman was driving along and saw a ice cream truck cruising by, and some unidentified object landed in her front yard. She picked up the phone and called the police. It turned out to be an empty malt liquor can. The driver, David Blundell, was arrested on suspicion of drunken driving and littering. In an interview with local media, he said that he didn't drink the beer while he was driving the ice cream truck. He said, "I'm driving and selling ice cream to kids, you know. It's like, some dude gave me a beer and dumped it out, and I shot it onto the ground." So he's saying that he didn't drink it. He just poured it out. Right. Why I grabbed it, I had no idea. That was just stupid. Then I realized I got to get rid of this. It's not good. So he said he didn't know why the result of the breathalyzer took 3 times more the legal limit.
Wow.
But apparently somebody did that to him too. You know, some dude blew all this alcohol in my mouth. All right. This has been your brain on drugs. Coming up, we have your scoop of the day. That is coming your way here in a bit.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVWheelator.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Now, your moment of duh. Getting arrested during a job interview. Probably not the best way to make a good first impression.
Yeah, you probably won't get that job.
If your job interview ends with you being handcuffed, you're probably not going to get the job. But that's what happened with Anthony Phillips. He was arrested during an interview for a job with the Stillwater, Oklahoma construction company when his prospective employer called the police. Apparently, he recognized Anthony from a surveillance tape of a robbery that took place the day before at the same company where he was interviewing for a job. So he robbed the place last night, and then he's coming in today for a job interview. He's like, oh, this is kind of a nice place. They got nice stuff that I'm stealing. I'm going to come here and get a job. But he didn't realize he was caught on tape. And now he has been arrested. And this has been your moment of duh. That is not very smart, is it?
No.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to rob people, first of all. But if you do, you don't come back and ask them for a job the next day. That's just dumb.
Wow.
Coming up, Giggles the Pig's running for mayor. We're going to tell you all about that.
Oh, fun.
Oh, yeah, that's on the way. And our scoop of the day.
The John and Heidi Show podcast is brought to you by DirecTV.
They have big-time savings going on right now, so you can sign up and save. Get all the details at 1-800-259-7646.
Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com.
Quite possibly the best way to buy an RV or to sell an RV. They're like a realtor for your RV. Check out RVWheelator.com.
And the Dollar Shave Club.
Get amazing razors for $1 a month, and for a few bucks more, they'll bring them right to your door.
Sign up today at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
And now, your scoop of the day. Giggles the Pig is running for mayor in Flint, Michigan. Guess who Giggles is running against? 2 convicted felons.
Oh, good
One
Lord.
who recently got out of prison for 20 years murder conviction.
Whoa.
So, yeah, that's who wants to run Flint, Michigan. And all they have running against him is another inmate and Giggles the Pig.
Oh, my gosh. Why wouldn't anybody want to be there?
Would you want to be the mayor of Flint, Michigan?
Well, if you live there anyway.
I think that they've got a lot of problems going on there. People are saying, I don't want to be in charge. Let's put Giggles the Pig in charge. A Taco Bell in Chicago just applied for a liquor license. That's interesting. Usually that's where you end up after you've been drinking liquor, but apparently they're working on, having it with the meal now. Edern Jones of South Wales was working for a do-it-yourself project when he accidentally cut off his left hand with a circular saw.
Ooh.
He said, it didn't hurt at all. It was only when I went to retrieve the piece of wood that I realized I had my hand laying on the ground. Doctors were able to reattach the hand. That is nuts.
Crazy.
If you bite your tongue or stub your toe, what do you say?
Ouch.
Well,
not me.
Not what you say. I've heard what you say. You sound like a pirate. No, you're supposed to say, ow!
Pirate?
Yeah. Or
Isn't it because it's like a sailor?
Oh, whatever it is. You ever wondered why that is? Why do we say, ow? According to a study, being vocal could help you tolerate the pain. Well, then Heidi Show.
I would agree
fabulous.
with that.
She's really
I have
vocal.
a very high pain tolerance.
Researchers tested how long subjects could keep their hands immersed in really cold water before they couldn't take it anymore. They found that people going, ow, ooh, it's cold. They lasted a lot longer than people who just put their hand in and didn't say anything. So that's how they tested that. That is a clinical test.
I guess.
Whatever. They're tiny animals with cute faces. They're covered in quills. They roll into prickly balls when they're scared. The ideal pet? Hedgehogs. No, hedgehogs are steadily growing as a popular pet across the U.S. of A. Despite laws in several states banning or restricting them as pets, breeders say the trend is partly fueled by the fact that hedgehogs require less maintenance than dogs and cats because they emit little odor, in sharp contrast with rodents and rabbits that require less, but they stink, according to the story. There's a large hypoallergenic and solitary lifestyle that also makes them kind of something that people kind of like. Massachusetts-based hedgehog breeder, that's what her job is.
I'm a hedgehog breeder.
Jennifer Crespo says, a hedgehog can hang out all day while you're at work, and when you come home, can hang out for a couple hours, or, you can put them away. That's her quote.
Isn't it the same thing with a dog?
Who pre-reads these stories for me? Nobody. Consumer Reports says that most of the U.S. pork supply could be tainted with all sorts of things, including growth hormones. So, pork, the other white meat. Well, it was white when they started anyway. On average, 4,615 people go to the emergency room with an injury every year from the snowblower. 4,615 people every year have snowblower injuries. I could see that.
Those things even look dangerous to me.
Yeah.
I've never operated a snowblower. I have no desire to.
I have operated snowblowers, but I've never been injured by one. And I'm assuming these are 4,615 different people every year. I really hope.
Hopefully not the same
guy.
It says
that they go every
many
year.
Times.
So, according to the story, the way it's written, it sounds like the same people keep going every year. Hurt myself again. I keep telling you, quit putting your hand in there.
Well, if it's your brother Jason, you could be one of those.
You leave my brother out of this. A lot of people complain about the cold weather, but doctors say some kids actually are allergic to cold. Why two cold stories? It's summertime.
I don't know.
What's the deal with that?
See, I think you've got an old...
Just like pollen, the cold allergy, eutarcha, I don't know what it is, has symptoms, but it ranges from rashes to closing of the throat. Doctors say it could have a genetic cause, but could also be acquired. So there you go. And we're going to wrap things up with a strange law. This is not anything to do with winter, so maybe this is a good all year long. I don't know why I had two winter stories in a row. In Colorado, you may not mutilate a rock in a state park. That's good news.
Okay.
In other states, apparently you can. You're not supposed to mutilate rocks in the state parks in Colorado. So, kids, quit doing that. Coming up, we've got a guest, Laura Vanderkam. She's the author of I Know How She Does It. We've got a fun interview coming up in just a bit on the John and Heidi Show.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by Rough Tough Kennels.
If you have a puppy or a big dog, Rough Tough Kennels has something that's just right for you. They have kennels that are strong enough that I can stand on top of them, but they're cozy enough for your furry little best friend. Learn more and see the different sizes available at roughtoughkennels.com.
That's RUFF. toughkennels.com.
Thank you so much for listening on a Thursday. I've got a special guest on the telephone line today. I have the best-selling author and journalist and time management expert, Laura Vanderkam. She's collected hour-by-hour time logs from over 1,001 days in the lives of many women who make at least $100,000 a year, and she found some surprising patterns on how these women spend their 168 hours every week. And we have her on the telephone line right now. Again, author of I Know How She Does It. Here's author Laura Vanderkam. Good morning, Laura. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're really excited to chat with you. I've got a copy of the book here. This is a good-looking book. I Know How She Does It. And now, first of all, what was the inspiration for this? I see you've written several other books that are kind of similar to this, but what was the inspiration for this particular one here?
Well, we always hear this story that women just can't have it all, that if you have a demanding career, you'll have to make really harsh trade-offs at home. And yet I knew from studying the lives and interviewing successful women over the years that they often had more balanced lives than people were talking about. So I wrote this book to add a little bit of data to the conversation we often have about women, work, and life.
Now, I really love the idea for the book, and one of the things that I wondered, when you were selecting the women that you were kind of putting under the lens of the microscope, if you will, why is it you chose this selection that you did? They made over $100,000 a year. They were mothers. Is there a particular reason that was the category?
Well, I needed some objective criteria to enroll people in the study, and there are many ways one could define success, but at least this was that they had achieved financial success, and it was a way of showing the whole big jobs concept, the ones that we claim are often off limits to women because they're not going to want to work the hours or they're not going to want to have those trade-offs. And, Yet I found from this that women who were earning six figures and who also had kids were managing to invest their time in all these spheres of life, that there was space for all their priorities. And so I found that fascinating, and I wanted to look at all these days, hour by hour, to see how it looked like.
I really like in here where you're talking about how women can create meaningful interactions with their children and their partners. Maybe if they can't do it at dinner time, they can do this maybe at breakfast time. Talk a little more about that.
Time management really comes down to figuring out what is important to you and then looking at the space you have in your life and putting it in. And we often have these notions that certain things must be done at certain times, but if you're willing to be a little bit more creative about it, you can fit a lot more in. So that's the thing with the family breakfast. I mean, we always say family dinner is so important, and it's great if you can make it happen. But if your family can't, that doesn't mean you have to feel bad about life. Look and say, well, what other family meals could we make happen? And for many families, breakfast is something you can pull off because you're there together in the morning all getting ready. So why not consciously take some time to sit down and enjoy each other's company?
So you're saying it's not about the meatloaf, it's more about the time together?
Exactly. It's not about the meatloaf, and often waffles are a lot easier to get kids to eat.
There you go. Again, on the line with Laura Vanderkam, the author of a really cool book. It's called I Know How She Does It. And one of the questions that I want to talk to you about, because this is not just for women, this is for men and women. Sleep is a pretty big, important thing, isn't it? And there's people that maybe don't necessarily look at sleep the same way that you look at it. But tell me about how sleep and the distortion that people might have of their impression of sleep, how that affects things.
Well, so most of what we know about people and sleep comes from calling them up and asking them how many hours they sleep. And that's an easy way to do a survey, but you can't do that because people don't know what a typical night is, and we have a tendency to remember the worst nights as typical. And so you get these low numbers, but if you have people keep track of their time for a week, which is what I did, you get a very different impression. So the average woman in my study, and remember, these are women who are earning six figures, they have kids at home. So the people we think would be harried, stressed out, sleep-deprived, they were sleeping 54 hours a week on average. So if you do the math, 7 days a week, that comes out to just a little bit under 8 hours a day. Wow. So people were not chronically sleep-deprived. They were, in general, getting enough sleep. There were a few bad nights here and there. I definitely saw a few bad nights on these logs, but they were not nearly as prevalent as one might think.
Very good. I wish we could talk even more, but I see that we're approaching the end of our time together. So before we get to the end, where can we find a copy of the book, I Know How She Does It?
I Know How She Does It is available at all major retailers. And I would also love if your listeners would come visit me on my website, which is lauravanderkam.com. I blog about these issues almost every day.
Very nice. Laura, thank you so much for taking some time to spend with us, and I hope you put it on your log so, for the next book you can talk about how much time you spent talking on the radio.
I would love to do so. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. You have a great day. Right there, Laura Vanderkam, author of I Know How She Does It. You can check out that book at retailers all over. You can also find it on your favorite online retailers, and you can win a copy for yourself if you go to the website winthisonline.com. You can go there right now and register to win. It's absolutely free to sign up. If you haven't done that yet, do it. winthisonline.com. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1 plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Today is a very special day, Heidi. You know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Today is Thursday. It's the 18th day of June, and it's International Sushi Day. I don't know if I should admit this. I've never eaten sushi.
And we won't.
I went to a buffet one time where they had sushi there, and I took some, and I poked at it while it was on my plate, but I never did eat it. So.
Well, why take the chance? I mean, how many stories do you read about people getting tapeworms and the whole bodies are filled with these
people get
bugs?
Sick from lots of things. And a lot of people eat sushi that never get sick, so I'm not going to do it. Anyway, Dump the Pump Day as well. It's Ramadan today, and it's Recess at Work Day. Ooh,
I like that.
Recess. Let's go play on the slide. Wait a minute. We don't have a slide here. Let's go
get a slide.
Let's go get a slide, and then we'll play on the slide. All right. This has been your fancy special stuff going on for the day. It is a really special day. It's Thursday, the 18th day of June.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVWheelator.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
A while back, a study came out that said some people could be overweight and still fit if they're active. Well, guess again. Guess what new research says?
What?
New research says that being active is good, but it won't eliminate the risk of heart disease. The new study involved nearly 39,000 women with an average age of 54. They were considered active if they got at least 30 minutes of moderate activity most days of the week. However, researchers found that they were still at an increased risk of heart problems. But a leading proponent of the so-called fit and fat theory is sticking by his claims. He says, the problem with this new study is that the women just filled out questionnaires on the honor system. They weren't monitored by doctors. So he's saying, yeah, like we all remember exactly what we did.
Yeah.
So he's saying that their study was flawed. But so one study says you can be overweight and still fit, and now they're saying, no, you really can't. So I
don't think they know what they're talking about.
Who's they anyway? They always do all kinds of studies.
They do lots of studies.
They are always at work. I noticed that we don't do any studies. I think
No.
we should get in on some of the study money. Because, look at these grants that they're getting for, asking people, so you're overweight, how do you feel? All right, can you check this box? I got to turn all these in so I can get my bazillion dollars. It's all part of my grant. But anyway, the study that they're working on right now, like I said, the most recent one was where they were saying that if you're overweight, you can't be fit and fat at the same time. But I really do like the fact that this other guy that's the proponent is saying, all you did is handed him a questionnaire. That's not doing a study.
Yeah, that's true.
Because do you remember how much you did yesterday?
Yeah.
It was pretty easy to calculate.
Yeah.
Then maybe that is a good study. All right. Coming up, we're going to talk about keyless entry and what has people so frustrated. That is all on the way. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show right here on a Thursday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
People in Bremerton, Washington are frustrated. You know why?
Why?
They can't get into their cars. Seems that almost everyone in town is unable to use their keyless entry gadgets. Nobody knows why it's happening, but it seems to be a problem with almost all keyless entry devices for almost all vehicles in the entire town. Even stranger still is the fact that once people leave the area, the devices begin to work again. Speculation about the cause has ranged from solar flares to results from the International Space Station or possibly interference from a local Navy ship. But they have no idea what's going on in Bremerton, Washington. The keyless entry is not working on their vehicles.
I am pretty sure we have talked about most of these things.
I don't think
Either
so.
that or I'm having a very bizarre case of deja vu because I've heard this story.
I've not talked about this.
Okay.
You've talked about this?
Yes.
Were you doing a show with somebody else when I wasn't
No.
looking? I have no idea what you're talking. I don't remember any of this stuff.
Huh.
All
right.
It is Thursday, the 18th day of June, right?
It is.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Coming up in a bit, we got something else that Heidi's probably already heard. That is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club.
You can get razors every month for just $1. And for $2 more, they'll bring them right to your door. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more.
That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
19-year-old Brandon Nardov of Chico Hills, California, thought he had a really cool idea. He wanted to get a cell phone. He didn't have the money, so he stopped into a Radio Shack and picked one up, and he ran out the door. However, he didn't quite beat the system, because before he ran out the door, to get the phone to the position that he got the phone, he had to fill out a credit application. He had his name and his address and all that stuff. So when the police finally caught up with him, it was pretty easy. They just went to the address that he put on that credit
Oh, my
app.
gosh.
Yeah. He didn't pay them. He filled everything out, didn't have the money, so he took the phone and ran out the door after they set
good
it
luck.
up. Yeah, that's probably not the very smartest thing to do. He also left behind pictures that he took of himself with the cell phone's camera he was using like the device that they were using there at the store.
showroom floor.
Yeah, so here's what he looks like, and here's his address.
Here's his address. Go get him.
And he's probably a genius, I'm assuming. All right, give till it hurts. We're going to tell you what that's all about coming up in a bit, right here on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1 plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Have you ever, like when you're at church, they've gone into like a really long sermon and you start looking at your clock going, or your watch going, okay, when is this going to be done? I think people have done that. Yeah. Even if you don't want to admit it. I know you're probably saying, no, I've never done that. Yeah, you probably have. You don't want to admit it. I've done it too. But not quite to the extent that we're going to talk about now. A priest is accused of kidnapping his entire congregation. Desperate for cash to repair the roof of his crumbling church, a parish priest locked the Turin, Italy congregation inside and refused to let them out until they emptied their pockets into the collection plate. Now, 76-year-old Father Dino Gariccio faces charges of kidnapping, false imprisonment, extortion, and robbery in a court case that could land him in prison for up to 20 years.
Oh, man.
They brought me food and flowers, but no money to help our church, Gariccio said of the congregation in his statement to the police. I got down on my knees and I begged them to help, but they looked the other way. So it's really sad that, his church was falling apart and he thought that he had to do that to get it fixed. That's not the answer.
Wow.
So that's kind of crazy that he finally, he's 76 years old. And he's in this little town, Turin, Italy, and he's saying, hey, come on, man, help me out. We got this church falling apart. You guys come here every week. Can you help a brother out? You bring me flowers.
I'm locking you in.
You bring me food. So now we're bolting these doors shut.
Good news is we have plenty of food, and it's going to smell good in here after you start stinking because we got flowers.
All right. I wonder how much he got. Was it enough to even do one shingle? All right. That's, again, kind of a sad story, but happened in Turin, Italy. 76-year-old priest locked his congregation inside until they coughed up the cash.
That's sad.
Coming up, we're going to talk about a new flavor of ice cream that I don't know if I would like any of these, but we're going to talk about some interesting ice cream flavors. That's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by Rough Tough Kennels.
If you have a puppy or a big dog, Rough Tough Kennels has something that's just right for you. They have kennels that are strong enough that I can stand on top of them, but they're cozy enough for your furry little best friend. Learn more and see the different sizes available at roughtoughkennels.com.
That's RUFF. toughkennels.com.
I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. This is our second ice cream story of the day.
Okay.
I mean, this is exciting. Horseradish ice cream. Ew, that doesn't sound
there's
good.
No way I would try that.
How about, let's take a look at the list. We'll read the story here. So if you like ice cream, if you adore ice cream, if that's true, you might want to sample all of these flavors. Be sure to plan a trip to Max and Mina's Kosher Ice Cream Parlor in Kew Garden Hills, New York. The store features Jewish Week magazine. It was just recently featured in that magazine, and it says bringing readers up to date on the many offbeat flavors that the store makes, all rich in butterfat, but meeting visitors' Jewish kosher dietary standards. Some of the delicious kosher flavors include lox, corn on the cob,
ew,
horseradish,
ew,
peanut butter and jelly. That sounds pretty good, actually.
I don't think that sounds
beer
good.
and nuts.
Ew.
And Campfire Delight, which is basically the flavor of baked beans. Max and Mina once actually made a broccoli ice cream, but have since discontinued the flavor because nobody would buy it.
That's just really
They've
gross.
got some interesting,
So why would you go and get ice cream flavored like that instead of just eating the actual stuff that's flavored like that? Because then you're at least eating something healthy for the most part. Most of those were fairly...
I believe it's a novelty. I believe that there are people that thought, if you're a big fan, you're like, oh, I'd try that. Spam flavor ice cream? Yeah. It's not for everybody, but I bet somebody out there would like that kind of thing. They didn't have that one, by the way, so I don't want you to go all the way there and go, hey, that guy on the radio said spam flavored ice cream. I wonder if somebody does have that. Your dad would like it.
I don't think that he would. He likes Spam, but I don't think he'd get Spam-flavored ice cream.
Well, like I said, they had broccoli ice cream. Nobody was buying that, so it had to go bye-bye. Speaking of going bye-bye, it's time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining us on the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. I am super excited for tomorrow because tomorrow is a Friday, and we've got some fun stuff to share with you. So be sure to tune in for many, many fun things right here on the John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
And our bonus break is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. They like to give you a little bonus. You order your razors from them for $1 a month, and it's like $2 more. They bring them right to your door. The shipping and handling is $2, so it's a really very affordable thing. And in addition to that, if you want to, you can opt in to get some other samples sent to you. So I've sampled like their hair gel, and I've sampled their little pre-shaved butter and all the different things on there. So check them out. dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now your bonus break. I have a couple things for you to choose from, Heidi. First, we can talk about reasons for leaving your last job and job responsibilities and special requests. These are real things that idiots put on an application, or I could just read a couple of stories. Which one would you rather do?
I don't care. Your choice.
Well, I want to read these things because I was reading some of these. These are real examples from real resumes. Reasons for leaving the last job. Reason number 1. Responsibility makes me nervous.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, who would say that? Another reason. This is different people, I'm assuming. I don't know that, but I'm assuming. They insisted that all employees get to work by 8:45 every morning. I couldn't work under those conditions.
Jeez.
If I could kick in about noon, yeah. Take off at like 1 for a lunch break. All right, next one on the list here, real examples for reasons for leaving your last job. I was working for my mom until she decided to move. All right, another reason for leaving your last job. The company made me a scapegoat, just like my 3 previous employers.
Yeah, it's not funny. Always the employer's fault.
Always a scapegoat, everywhere you go. All right, job responsibilities. These are real things that were put on real resumes. While I'm open to the initial nature of an assignment, I decidedly dispose that it be so oriented as to at least partially incorporate the experience enjoyed heretofore, and that it be configured so as to ultimately lead to the major application of more rarefied facets of financial management as the major sphere of responsibility.
What in the world does that even mean?
If he or she is applying to be a lawyer, they probably got the job.
Good Lord.
I think that was lawyer speak, and I don't know what it even means. Next on here, special requests. I've never ever seen that section of a resume. Have you? Special requests or job objectives is the other category. It says, please call me after 5:30. I am self-employed, and my employer doesn't know I'm looking for another job. Wait a minute.
That is funny.
You're self-employed, and you don't know you're looking... Really? All right. Next one on here. This is under job objectives. My goal is to be a meteorologist. But since I have no training in meteorology, I suppose I should try stock brokerage.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really wanting to be a weatherman, but I'll be a stockbroker. All right, and then finally, special requests and job objectives. It says, I procrastinate, especially when the task is unpleasant.
Well, hey, at least he's honest. Get that going for him.
No. These are fun. Again, those are real things that were put on resumes. Did you have something to share for the bonus break today, Heidi?
Not at all.
Nothing at all?
Not a thing.
You didn't really talk at all today. Did you notice that?
You're not feeling well.
I was talking, and I was looking for you to maybe respond here and there.
Yeah, I'm not feeling great today.
I was going to poke you with a stick halfway through the program to make sure you're awake.
Yeah, sorry.
We'll make sure that you're awake for tomorrow. How's that sound?
That'd be great.
Right,
I'd love to feel better for tomorrow.
Me too. That's going to do it for our bonus break, brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Learn more about those guys at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.